They offered him a fortune. We are talking about a life-changing amount of money, a blank check signed by the desperate executives at TLC just to step in front of the cameras and hold her hand. In the cutthroat world of reality TV, everyone has a price. Dignity is usually the first thing sold, and privacy is the currency they trade in. But for the first time in 18 seasons, the machine hit a brick wall. Janelle Brown's new mystery man didn't just say no, he reportedly looked at the contract, looked at Janelle, and said, "Our relationship is not for sale." While the internet is cheering for this silent protector, Kody Brown is reportedly spiraling, calling this the ultimate betrayal. Why? Because Janelle's new love is allegedly the one man who saw her sweat, cry, and rebuild herself when Kody wasn't looking. He is the man who witnessed her struggle and her strength, her former gym coach. Today, we are diving deep into the romance that is too real for reality TV, and why Kody is absolutely terrified of a man he cannot control. Welcome back to COCO Gossip, your #1 source for the truth behind the reality TV headlines. Before we unpack this explosive report that is shaking the foundation of the Brown family, I need you to do me a huge favor. If you believe Janelle deserves a love that doesn't require a camera crew, go ahead and hit that like button right now. It helps us get this story out to more fans. And if you want to stay updated on this developing situation, make sure you are subscribed and have that notification bell turned on. You are not going to want to miss a single update on this saga. Let's get right into the premise of what insiders are calling the news of the decade for the Sister Wives fandom. We have spent years watching the slow-motion car crash of Kody Brown's marriages. We watched Christine leave with Grace. We watched Mary eventually see the light. But Janelle's exit was different. It was a slow burn, a calculation, a realization of her own worth. But now, the narrative has shifted from separation to replacement, and that is a dangerous place for Kody Brown. Reports are swirling that Janelle has found genuine love. But the twist here isn't the romance itself, it is the rejection of the spotlight. TLC knows that a Janelle in love storyline is a ratings goldmine. They saw what David Woolley did for Christine's popularity. They know the audience is desperate to see Janelle being worshipped the way she deserves. So, according to reports, the network approached this mystery man with a massive sum. We are talking about the kind of money that pays off mortgages, buys brand new RVs, and secures retirement. And he turned it down. Let's analyze the psychology of that refusal, because it is the most romantic thing that has ever happened on this show, and it happened off camera. In the Brown family universe, love has always been transactional. Kody's love was conditional on obedience. It was conditional on how well you treated Robin. It was conditional on signing the contracts and keeping the show alive. For 18 years, Janelle has been conditioned to believe that her value is tied to her utility, what she brings to the family pot, and what she brings to the show. Then walks in this man. If the reports are true, his refusal to film sends a message that Kody Brown is incapable of understanding. It says, "I value you more than the paycheck. I value our privacy more than fame." Imagine the shockwave that's sent through Flagstaff. For Kody, who has dragged every awkward moment, every fight, and every heartbreaking conversation in front of a lens for money, this is an alien concept. Kody lives for the camera, he preens for it, he performs for it. The idea that another man would have the opportunity to be famous and rich and would say no to protect Janelle is a direct attack on Kody's entire worldview. This refusal validates Janelle not as a cast member, not as a second or third wife, but as a human being. It is a psychological power move that shifts the dynamic instantly. When you look at the fan reaction online, the comments are telling. People are saying, "This is what a real man does." The audience is starving for authenticity, and ironically, the most authentic thing this new boyfriend could do was refuse to participate in the show that made Janelle famous. But who is he? This is where the story gets fascinating. The leading theory, backed by deep dive investigations and insider whispers, suggests that this mystery man is someone from Janelle's past, specifically her former personal trainer. The gym coach theory. To understand why this is so significant, we have to rewind the tape. We have to go back to the Strive with Janelle era. Do you remember when Janelle started taking her health seriously? It wasn't just about weight loss. It was about reclaiming her body. For years, Janelle was the logical wife, the business wife. She wasn't viewed, by Kody at least, as the physical or romantic prize. That role was reserved for the newest wife. Janelle was the buddy. But then she hit the gym. And if you know anything about the psychology of fitness, you know that the relationship between a trainer and a client can be incredibly profound. The gym is a vulnerable place. You are sweating, you are out of breath, you are pushing your limits, and often you are crying. It is a place where you strip away the pretenses. While Kody was busy driving over to Robin's house, obsessing over her needs and her children, someone else was counting Janelle's reps. Someone else was telling her, "You can do this." Someone else was watching her get stronger, literally and metaphorically. The gym coach theory suggests that this man fell in love with Janelle's grit. He didn't fall in love with the TV star. He fell in love with the woman who showed up every day to fight for her health. Think about the narrative drive here. The gym became Janelle's sanctuary. It was the one place Kody didn't control. Kody tried to control the houses, the finances, the kids, and the church, but he couldn't control the weights Janelle was lifting. If this mystery man is indeed her former coach, he represents the silent guardian archetype. He was there in the background, witnessing the neglect she suffered at home and empowering her to stand on her own 2 feet. This adds a layer of humiliation for Kody that is delicious for the viewers, but devastating for his ego. Kody prides himself on being the alpha. He talks constantly about patriarchy and respect. Yet here is a man who arguably helped build Janelle's confidence to the point where she could finally say "F you" to Kody. The strength she used to leave Kody was built in the gym under the guidance of this man. The emotional core of this theory is undeniable. If this is true, it means their foundation is built on reality, not reality TV. Kody and Robin's relationship, whether they admit it or not, is inextricably linked to the show. They need the show to maintain their lifestyle. Their conversations often feel staged for the plot. But a relationship that started in the sweat and grind of a gym, focused on self-improvement, that is solid, that is real. Let's look at the contrast between these two male figures, because this is what is driving Kody's reported panic. You have Kody Brown on one side. He is loud, he is chaotic, he demands to be the center of attention in every room. He requires his wives to shrink so he can feel big. His love is a spotlight. It's bright, hot, and blinding, but it can be turned off the moment you disobey. On the other side, you have the mystery man. Based on his actions, specifically the refusal to film, he is the anti-Cody. He is quiet. He rejects the spotlight. He respects boundaries. He doesn't need to be on TV to feel important. He doesn't need $1 million to validate his relationship. He is offering unconditional support, something Janelle hasn't had in decades. Fans are already in love with this man, and we haven't even seen his face. That is the power of the Anti-Cody. All a man has to do to win over the Sister Wives audience is treat these women with basic human decency and privacy. He represents safety. After 18 years of chaos, safety is the ultimate aphrodisiac. Now, let's talk about Kody's reaction. Insiders are reporting that Kody is fuming. He is allegedly throwing around words like betrayal. But why is it a betrayal? Janelle is a single woman. She is spiritually divorced. She owes Kody nothing. The betrayal in Kody's twisted logic is about control and narrative. Kody Brown's biggest fear isn't losing a wife. He has already lost 3 of them and seems perfectly content with just Robin. His biggest fear is losing control of the story. He needs to be the villain or the hero, but he must be the main character. If Janelle's new boyfriend refuses to film, he becomes an invisible force. Kody cannot debate him. Kody cannot yell at him during a tell-all special. Kody cannot belittle him in a confessional. This man is a ghost, and you cannot fight a ghost. This terrifies Kody because it renders him powerless. If Janelle is happy off camera, it proves that life without Kody is better than life with him. It proves that the show and Kody's presence is the problem. There is also the financial panic. We have to follow the money. Sister Wives is a business. The conflict is the product. If Janelle withdraws from the drama because she is happy in a private relationship, the show loses a massive pillar of its content. If the new boyfriend won't film, Janelle might film less. If Janelle films less, the production team has less footage. If the show loses its heart, it gets canceled. And if the show gets canceled, Kody loses his paycheck. So when Kody screams about betrayal, he isn't screaming about a broken heart. He is screaming about a broken bank account. He is jealous of the provider role. Cody has always claimed to be the provider and protector of the family, even though the wives often contributed significantly to the finances. This new man protected Janelle from Cody by refusing to exploit her for money. That destroys Cody's ego. It strips him of his self-appointed title. Let's go deeper into the gym metaphor because it perfectly outlines the timeline of Janelle's independence. If you look back at seasons 10 through 18, you can trace Janelle's physical transformation alongside her emotional detachment from Cody. It wasn't a coincidence. In the early seasons, Janelle was often the peacemaker. She was the one who tried to smooth things over. She avoided conflict. But as she spent more time focusing on her health, her personality shifted. She became more vocal. She started setting harder boundaries. She bought the RV without Cody's full permission. She told him to shut his mouth during a heated argument. Where did this new aggression and confidence come from? It came from physical strength. It came from the discipline of the gym. A netizen recently commented, "The strength she built in the gym was just the beginning." That is profound. Every pound she lifted was a preparation to lift the burden of Cody off her shoulders. The gym coach was the architect of her freedom long before they started dating. He was building her up while Cody was tearing her down. This changes how we view the past few seasons. When Cody was complaining that Janelle was aloof or independent or acting like a single woman, he was right. She was acting like a single woman because she was building a support system that didn't include him. She was getting her validation from her achievements and her circle of support, which allegedly included this trainer. Cody was sensing the distance, but he was too narcissistic to understand the cause. He thought she was just being difficult. In reality, she was outgrowing him. Now, let's talk about the production panic. The fourth wall is crumbling. The production team at TLC realizes this refusal changes the game. Usually, when a reality star gets a new partner, the producers start salivating, they start planning the wedding special, they start drafting the contracts, they anticipate the meeting the ex scene. But what happens when the partner says no? It creates a stalemate. TLC needs Janelle more than she needs them. This is the crucial point. For years, the wives needed the show to survive. But Janelle has her own business now. She has Plexus, she has her fame, and now she allegedly has a partner who is financially stable and doesn't need the show's money. This gives Janelle the ultimate leverage. If TLC pushes too hard, Janelle can walk away. She has a soft place to land. This man has likely given her the financial or emotional confidence to tell the producers, "I will film my scenes, but my personal life is off limits." That is a nightmare for the showrunners, but it is a victory for Janelle, and we cannot ignore the Robin factor. While Cody is loud about his anger, Robin is likely fuming quietly. We have to speculate on the drama inside the McMansion. Robin and Cody are effectively the villains of the series now. The audience tolerates them to get to the scenes of Christine and Janelle winning. If Janelle withdraws into a private, happy life, the cameras have nowhere to turn but back to Robin and Cody. And what will they find there? Misery, hoarding, arguments. Without the scapegoat wives to blame, Robin and Cody are left alone with their own dysfunction on full display. They need Janelle's drama to keep the show interesting. They need a target. The irony is thick. Robin entered the family saying she wanted the big plural family culture. She wanted the sister wives on the porch. Now she has Cody all to herself, a monogamous life. But the cameras are looking for Janelle's invisible boyfriend. Robin wanted to be the legal wife, the favorite wife, the core of the family. She got the title, but Janelle got the freedom. And in the court of public opinion, freedom is worth more than the legal marriage certificate. This brings us to the concept of psychological safety. After 18 years of having her arguments, her finances, her weight, and her parenting dissected by the entire world, privacy is the ultimate romantic gift. Think about how exhausting it must be to be a Brown. Every decision is committee-based. Every holiday is a negotiation. Every move is filmed. For a man to come into her life and say, "I don't want the fame, I just want you," is the highest form of intimacy. There is a quote floating around the fan forums. He protected her peace. In a world of noise, silence is a luxury. This gym coach, by refusing the money, bought Janelle peace. He created a bubble where she can just be Janelle, not Janelle from Sister Wives. Cody never protected her peace. Cody was the source of the noise. Cody brought chaos. He thrived on it. This contrast is what makes the story so compelling. It isn't just about a new boyfriend, it's about a new way of living. It is a complete rejection of the lifestyle Kody forced upon her. Let's recontextualize the past even further. If this gym coach has been around for years as a friend and trainer, were there signs we missed? We need to look back at the footage. There were moments where Janelle seemed to check out. She stopped fighting for Kody's time. She stopped being jealous of Robin. At the time, we thought she had just resigned. We thought she was giving up. But maybe she wasn't giving up. Maybe she was getting filled up elsewhere. Not romantically at the time, but emotionally. Maybe she would leave a training session feeling empowered and strong, and then come home to Kody's whining and realize, I don't need this. Kody's paranoia was always a major plot point. He often accused the wives of talking to others, of having alliances, of trash-talking him. He was paranoid because he knew he was losing his grip. Was he sensing this emotional bond Janelle had with her support system? Kody hates anyone who has influence over his wives. If Janelle was listening to her trainer more than she was listening to her prestige husband, that would drive Kody insane. And the internet is on fire with this. The community response has been overwhelming. Social media is flooding with theories. One user on Reddit wrote, "He loved her at her heaviest. He loved her at her happiest." That sums it up. Kody claimed he wasn't attracted to some of his wives because of their physical appearance or their behavior. He was superficial. This new man saw the work. He saw the struggle. Another comment that went viral said, "Kody is mad because he can't compete with a ghost." And that is the truth. How does Kody fight a man who won't enter the ring? Kody wants a boxing match. This guy is playing chess. By staying away from the cameras, the new boyfriend maintains the high ground. He remains perfect in the eyes of the audience because we never see him make a mistake. We never see him argue. He is just the idea of better, and Kody is the reality of worse. The validation the audience feels is palpable. For years, we screamed at the TV, telling Janelle to leave. We wanted her to find someone who appreciated her intellect and her beauty. Seeing her not just leave, but upgrade to a healthier dynamic, one that prioritizes privacy over profit, is the payoff we have been waiting for. It feels like justice. We have to turn our attention to the person who is likely suffering the most from this silence. And ironically, it is the person who demanded the most attention for years, Robin Brown. While Kody is loud about his anger, screaming about betrayal to anyone who will listen, Robin is facing a much quieter, much more terrifying reality. We have to analyze the specific dynamic of the favorite wife when there are no other wives left to compare her to. For over a decade, Robin's identity within the family structure was defined by her status as the legal wife, the obedient wife, the one Kody went to for solace. She thrived on the contrast. She looked like a saint because the other wives were painted as sinners. She looked like the peacemaker because the others were painted as difficult. But now, with Janelle checking out and finding a love that refuses to play the game, the contrast is gone. The mirror is broken. If Janelle is off living a happy private life with a man who respects her, and she isn't filming screaming matches with Kody, Robin loses her narrative shield. Without the scapegoats to blame for the family's misery, Robin and Kody are left alone in that massive house on the hill, and the cameras are still rolling. What happens when the producers ask, "So, what are you two doing today?" And the answer is just existing. The drama requires conflict. If Janelle's new partner removes her from the conflict, he effectively starves the beast. And let's talk about the finances, because this is where Robin's panic likely sets in. It is an open secret in the Sister Wives community that the family pot was largely funded by the collective efforts of all the adults, with Janelle and Mary being significant contributors for years. Kody and Robin have a lifestyle that is frankly expensive. The property taxes, the art on the walls, the vehicles, the nanny, that lifestyle is sustained by the show. If Janelle's refusal to exploit her new relationship leads to the show's cancellation or even a pay cut, Robin is the one who loses the most. Janelle has lived in an RV. She knows how to survive with less. Christine has her own spin-off energy. Mary has her B&B. Robin has Kody, and Kody has debt. The arrival of this gym coach figure threatens Robin's security in a way the other wives never did. When Christine left, she was single. It was sad, but Kody could spin it. When Janelle finds a man who turns down a 7-figure check, it highlights the financial desperation of Kody and Robin. It makes them look greedy, It exposes that they are the ones clinging to fame while Janelle is choosing integrity. That is a PR nightmare for Robin, who has spent years trying to convince the audience that she is just a sweet victim of circumstance. This leads us to the production logistics, which are absolutely fascinating from an industry perspective. How does TLC handle a star who refuses to show her life? We are looking at a potential stalemate that could redefine the genre. Usually, reality stars are desperate. They need the airtime to sell their supplements or their clothing lines, but Janelle has reached a level of popularity where she is bigger than the show. This mystery man has likely given her the screw you money, or at least the screw you confidence. If the reports are true and he said, "Our relationship is not for the cameras," he has drawn a hard boundary. TLC producers are likely scrambling. Do they try to film around him? Do they use body doubles? Do they just have Janelle talking about him in confessionals without ever showing him? That worked for a while with The Bachelor contestants, but for a documentary-style show like Sister Wives, it feels hollow. The audience wants to see the chemistry. We want to see Janelle blushing. We want to see a man holding the door for her. If TLC cannot get this man on screen, they might try to force Janelle's hand. They might threaten to cut her contract. But here's the kicker. I don't think Janelle cares anymore. And that is what makes Kody panic. A person who doesn't care about the threat is impossible to manipulate. Kody has spent 30 years manipulating these women with the fear of disfavor, the fear of poverty, or the fear of spiritual abandonment. This new man has removed all those fears. He provides favor, he likely provides stability, and he provides real love. Kody has no cards left to play. Let's go back to the gym metaphor, because it is the key to understanding the psychology of the audience's obsession with this story. The gym is about incremental progress. It is about pain leading to results. We have watched Janelle in pain for 18 seasons. We watched her cry over finances. We watched her cry over her children being neglected by their father. We watched her struggle with her self-image. The idea that her salvation came from the very place where she worked on herself, the gym, is poetic justice. It implies that she didn't just get lucky and find a man. It implies that she earned this. She built the body, she built the mind, and she built the confidence that attracted a high-value man. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a Rocky movie. It's a training montage that lasted a decade. And this gym coach isn't just a boyfriend. In the eyes of the internet, he is a symbol. He represents the high-value man that the manosphere loves to talk about. But he flips the script. He isn't high value because he has a harem of women. He is of high value because he protects the one woman he is with. He protects her from the vultures. He protects her from the audience. We need to dive into the internet theories because the comment sections are writing a better script than the actual showrunners right now. I was scrolling through Reddit deep dives and Twitter threads, and the theories are incredible. One theory suggests that this relationship has been going on much longer than we think, but purely as a friendship. Fans are dissecting clips from 3 seasons ago, looking at Janelle's phone screen, looking at her smile. Was she texting him when Kody was ranting about COVID protocols? Was she getting advice from him when Kody wanted to kick the boys out of the house? There is a prevalent theory that this man was the voice of reason in Janelle's ear during the big family fight. Remember when Janelle walked off the set? Remember when she told Kody, "I am not listening to this"? Fans are speculating that she had just gotten off the phone with her trainer, who told her, "You don't deserve to be spoken to like that." It changes the rewatch value of the show. Suddenly, Janelle isn't alone. She has a secret ally. Another massive theory circling the forums is the Kody versus the alpha narrative. The internet loves to mock Kody's obsession with being an alpha male. He buys the gloves, he drives the sports car, he has the hair. But here comes a guy who, allegedly, lifts heavy weights, keeps his mouth shut, and refuses to sell out. The internet is calling the new boyfriend the true alpha and Kody the beta in disguise. It's petty, sure, but it speaks to why this story is resonating. We love to see a bully get outclassed. Kody bullied Janelle for years. Now she is with a man Kody is likely intimidated by physically and morally. Let's speculate on the future of Sister Wives. Where do we go from here? If this report is the news of the decade, it might also be the end of the era. There are 3 paths the show can take. Path 1, the cancellation. Without the access to Janelle's new life, and with Christine already remarried and settled, the show runs out of fuel. Watching Kody and Robin be miserable is only entertaining for so long. Eventually, it becomes just sad and repetitive. TLC might decide to pull the plug and end on a high note, or spin off the ex-wives into a Life After Polygamy series where Kody is completely cut out. That would be the ultimate revenge. Path 2, the pivot to villainy. TLC leans fully into Kody's breakdown. If Janelle won't film her happiness, maybe they will film Kody's jealousy. Imagine a season dedicated entirely to Kody spiraling as he reads the tabloids about Janelle. We watch him trying to date new women and failing. We watch Robin trying to keep him calm. It becomes a psychological thriller about the collapse of a narcissist. It would be dark, but people would watch it. Path 3. The negotiation. This is the most likely. TLC comes back with a bigger check. They don't offer it to the boyfriend. They offer it to Janelle to just talk about him. They offer her a solo special. They compromise. But even then, the power dynamic has shifted. Janelle holds the cards. She is no longer the employee. She is the asset they cannot afford to lose. But there is a deeper layer here about the psychological safety of privacy. We need to talk about why this refusal is so important for Janelle's healing. Being married to a narcissist, or someone with strong narcissistic traits, is fundamentally about a lack of privacy. Your thoughts are policies. Your actions are judged. Your loyalty is constantly tested. For Janelle to be with a man who says, "Let's keep this for us," is the antidote to the trauma she experienced with Kody. Kody broadcasted their intimacy, or lack thereof, to the world. He weaponized it. He told the world he wasn't attracted to her. He told the world they weren't acting like a married couple. He humiliated her globally. Privacy is the reversal of that humiliation. By keeping the relationship private, the new boyfriend is telling Janelle, "Our love is valuable because it is rare, and it is rare because we aren't sharing it." It makes their connection sacred. It re-sanctifies the idea of marriage for Janelle, taking it from a public performance to a private sanctuary. And let's look at the clapback culture. We are waiting for the moment Kody speaks on this. We know he won't be able to help himself. He will go on a podcast or do a cameo, and he will make a snide comment about people who hide their lives. He will try to frame their privacy as secrecy or deceit. He will say, if they were happy, they would show it. But the audience is smarter now. We know that happy people don't need to prove it to strangers. We know that the people posting the most happy couple photos are often the most miserable behind closed doors. Kody and Robin are the evidence of that. They constantly tell us they are happy, but they look miserable. Janelle is saying nothing, and reports say she is glowing. That silence speaks volumes. There is also a touching element regarding the children. Janelle's boys, Garrison and Gabriel, had a terrible falling out with Kody. They felt abandoned. They felt their father chose Robin's kids over them. The gym coach theory brings a paternal element into the mix. If this man has been around for years, he likely knows the boys. He likely trained with them. Imagine the contrast for those young men. On one hand, a father who demands respect but gives none, who forgets birthdays, who argues about holiday rules. On the other hand, a mentor figure in the gym who spots their lifts, encourages their gains, and treats their mother with reverence. If the boys approve of this new man, that is the final nail in the coffin for Kody's relationship with his sons. If Gabe and Garrison are posting gym selfies with Janelle's new boyfriend, Kody will absolutely lose his mind. It is a replacement for the father figure, not just the husband figure. So, is Kody's anger really about betrayal? No, it is about obsolescence. He is becoming obsolete. He is being replaced by a version of masculinity that is healthier, quieter, and stronger. He is being erased from the narrative he started. He pitched a show about a man with 4 wives. Now he is a man with 1 wife, and the other 3 are thriving without him. The show has become a documentation of his failure, and the audience is here for it. We aren't watching for the polygamy anymore. We are watching for liberation. We are watching a masterclass on how to leave a toxic relationship. Janelle's 7-figure refusal is the graduation ceremony. It is her tossing the cap in the air and walking off the stage. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want you to visualize the future. Picture the next season of Sister Wives. Picture Kody sitting on his couch ranting about loyalty. And then Cut to a scene of Janelle. She isn't talking about Kody. She isn't crying. She is just hiking. She is smiling at a text message on her phone. She puts the phone away and looks at the sunset. The camera doesn't show who sent the text. It doesn't need to. We know. And she knows. And that knowledge is worth more than $1 million from TLC. This relationship isn't just a romance. It is a revolution. By saying no to the cameras, Janelle's new partner has given her the one thing Kody never could: dignity. He proved that Janelle is the prize, not the paycheck. And as Kody sits in his mansion fuming about betrayal, the rest of the world sees it for what it really is: justice. But I want to know what you think. This is the part where I need your voice in the comments. Is Kody's anger really about betrayal, or is he terrified that the show and the money is about to dry up without Janelle's drama? Do you think TLC will try to replace Janelle, or is the show over without the OG3? And most importantly, do you respect the new boyfriend for turning down the money, or do you wish he would appear on screen just once to tell Kody off? I have a theory that Kody is secretly hoping the guy comes on the show so he can try to intimidate him, and he is scared because the guy won't give him the chance. Let me know if you agree with that. If you believe Janelle deserves this happiness and you support her decision to keep it private, hit that like button. It sends a message that we support the women, not the drama. Don't forget to subscribe to COCO Gossip as we track this developing story. We are watching the social media accounts like a hawk, and the second we get confirmation on who this mystery man is, you will be the first to know. You won't want to miss the next update. Until then, keep watching, keep speculating, and remember, sometimes the best reality is the one you don't see on TV. But we are not done yet. To truly understand the magnitude of this refusal and why it has sent the production team into such a tailspin, we have to look at the numbers. We have to follow the money trail, because in the Brown family, love and money have always been the same currency. When we say Janelle's new partner refused a fortune, we need to contextualize what that means for the Sister Wives ecosystem. We have unearthed some fascinating details about the structure of the family's finances that makes this rejection sting even more for Kody. For years, the Brown family operated as a financial collective. The money from TLC went into a pot, confusingly managed by Kody, and later heavily influenced by Robin. Janelle was the CFO of the family. She was the one doing the taxes. She was the one worried about the retirement accounts. She knows exactly how much the show brings in. So, when a contract is offered to a potential new cast member, Janelle knows the market value. She knows if they are lowballing or if they are desperate. The rumor is that TLC offered this mystery man top-tier talent money. Usually, a new boyfriend gets a friend of the cast rate, but they offered him main cast money. Why they? Because he is the antidote to Kody. The producers know that the audience is tired of Kody's narrative. They needed a new leading man. By refusing that specific tier of money, the gym coach didn't just turn down a paycheck, he turned down the role of the new patriarch. This hits Kody on a level of poverty trauma that we rarely discuss. Remember, before the show, the Browns were struggling. Kody has a deep-seated fear of returning to poverty. He equates money with godliness and success. For a man to look at a pile of cash, the very thing Kody has chased his entire life, sacrificing his relationships with his children to secure, and say, "I don't need it," is incomprehensible to Kody. It breaks his brain. It suggests that this man has a source of wealth or security that Kody cannot touch and cannot claim credit for. And let's talk about Coyote Pass. The land, the barren wasteland that has become the symbol of Kody's failed dreams. With Janelle moving on to a man who values privacy, the Coyote Pass dream is officially dead. Janelle was the only one who really wanted to build there. She was the one with the vision of the greenhouses and the casitas. If she is with a man who has his own property, his own gym, his own life, she doesn't need the mud pit in Flagstaff. This creates a massive legal and financial liability for Kody. If Janelle demands her share of the equity to be bought out so she can start her new private life, Kody doesn't have the liquidity to pay her without the show's revenue. But if the show is tanking or evolving away from him, the revenue dries up. It is a pincer movement. The gym coach's refusal to film accelerates the end of the show, which accelerates Kody's financial ruin, which forces him to sell the land he loves. It is a domino effect started by one man saying no. Now, let's do a forensic deep dive into the timeline because the gym coach theory actually solves several plot holes from the last 3 seasons. We need to look at the Strive with Janelle Instagram era. There was a shift in Janelle's social media presence about 2 years ago. She stopped posting just about the kids and the plexus. She started posting about mindset. She started using language that is very specific to the fitness community. Phrases like personal gains, non-scale victories, and protecting your energy. These are not phrases Kody uses. Kody uses religious terminology or therapy speak that he weaponizes. Janelle was speaking the language of self-improvement. We can theorize that she was spending hours a week with this trainer. In the gym culture, the bond between a trainer and client is unique. It is intimate but professional. You talk about your stress because stress affects your cortisol, which affects your weight loss. So, Janelle was likely telling this man, I am stressed because my husband is yelling at me about holiday protocols. And this man, coming from a place of logic and health, likely asked simple, devastating questions. Questions like, why do you accept that? Or, does that sound healthy to you? Sometimes you need an outsider to point out that the house is on fire. Kody could manipulate the other wives because they were inside the burning house with him. But a trainer? He is on the outside looking in. He isn't part of the church. He isn't part of the cult of personality. He just sees a woman doing squats who is being emotionally battered by a narcissist. There is a specific scene in season 17 where Janelle and Kody are at a restaurant, and Kody is trying to get her to agree to his patriarchy. Janelle looks at him with this look of absolute detachment. She laughs at him. At the time, we thought it was just her being done, but looking back through the lens of this theory, that laugh is the laugh of a woman who has a better option. It is the laugh of someone who has compared Kody to a real man and realized Kody is a joke. She wasn't scared of losing him anymore because she had already found a support system that was stronger. We also need to analyze the alpha male insecurity Kody projects. Kody spends a lot of time trying to bond with other men, his brothers, his friends, but it always feels like he's performing. He wants to be the leader of the pack. A personal trainer is a physically imposing figure. He is a disciplinarian. He is someone who commands respect through action, not through shouting. If Kody ever met this man, he would feel instantly inferior. Kody is vanity muscles. He works out for the aesthetic. A coach works out for function and longevity. Kody wears gloves to drive a truck. This man likely has calluses from deadlifts. The visual contrast alone would destroy Kody's ego. This is why Kody is allegedly pushing the betrayal narrative. He wants to make the guy the villain before the audience can see him as the hero. He wants to paint this protector as a home wrecker, even though the home was wrecked years ago by Kody himself. Let's go even deeper into the sister wives fandom psychology. Why are we so obsessed with Janelle finding love? We watched Christine find David, and it was a fairy tale. It was Disney. It was The Bachelor. But Janelle is different. Janelle is the every woman. She is the one who struggled with her weight, her finances, her voice. Her finding love feels more attainable and more grounded. We want Janelle to find a partner who is intellectual. Janelle is the smart one. She reads, she thinks. Kody never challenged her intellectually. He just talked over her. The rumor about the trainer is that he is also a business owner, a man who built something from the ground up. This appeals to Janelle's business sense. They are a power couple, and power couples move in silence. They don't need to broadcast every date night. This brings us to a controversial theory. Is the show actually preventing Janelle from fully moving on? As long as she is under contract, she has to talk about Kody. She has to sit on that couch and relive the trauma. The new boyfriend's refusal to film might be an ultimatum to Janelle as well. He might be saying, I am building a life with you, but I am not building a life with TLC. This forces Janelle to choose, and for the first time, she is choosing herself. This is the ultimate character arc. In season 1, Janelle was the worker bee. She worked to provide for the family while others stayed home. Now she is retiring from the job of sister wife. She is clocking out. And what about the friend zone theory? Some insiders suggest this man was in the friend zone for a long time. That Kody actually knew him. Imagine the betrayal if this was someone Kody had met, someone Kody had dismissed as just a trainer, only for that man to swoop in and pick up the pieces Kody shattered. That is Shakespearean. It adds a layer of personal insult to the injury. There is also the red pill angle. Cody has been diving deep into the manosphere, that corner of the internet that preaches male dominance and female submission. He uses buzzwords. He talks about loyalty and respect in a very specific, radicalized way. This new man, by all accounts, represents positive masculinity. He supports her career. He supports her independence. He supports her children. He is the antidote to the toxicity Cody has absorbed online. Cody is fighting a culture war in his own living room, and he is losing. Let's speculate on the lost footage. If this relationship has been brewing, there must be footage that TLC has in the vault that they didn't know how to use. Clips of Janelle texting, clips of her leaving early to go to the gym, clips of her looking at her phone and glowing. If the producers are smart, they are re-editing the previous seasons right now to show the origin story of this romance. Even without the man on screen, they will use the negative space to tell the story. The absence of Cody in her life will be filled by the implication of this new presence. And we have to talk about the plexus connection. Janelle and Christine travel a lot for their supplement business. They go to conferences, they go on cruises. This is a world Cody is not part of. This was Janelle's escape hatch. It is very likely that she met this man or deepened her bond with him in these spaces where she was celebrated as a businesswoman, not a wife. Cody hates that business. He hates that it gives them freedom. He called it a pyramid scheme while living off the profits. If the new boyfriend is involved in health and fitness, he likely supports her business in a way Cody never did. He validates her career. This is a multi-layered compatibility, physical, emotional, and professional. Cody offered none of those nuns. He only offered spiritual compatibility, which he revoked the moment she disagreed with him. Let's pivot to a terrifying thought for Robin. What if Janelle writes a book? Christine is too nice, she wants to keep the peace for the kids. Mary is too loyal, she keeps secrets. But Janelle? Janelle is logical. Janelle has the receipts. If this new man gives her the courage to tell the full, unvarnished truth in a memoir, it would destroy the remnant of the Brown family reputation. And the new boyfriend, being a private citizen, has no NDA. He hasn't signed a contract with TLC. Technically, he could go on a podcast tomorrow and tell us everything Janelle has told him about Cody's behavior. The only thing stopping him is his respect for Janelle. That is a loaded gun pointed at Cody's reputation. Cody has to walk on eggshells because if he pushes this betrayal narrative too hard, the gym coach might decide to break his silence to defend Janelle's honor. And if he speaks, the internet will listen. This creates a stalemate of mutually assured destruction. Cody has the platform, but the boyfriend has the credibility. Cody has the screen time, but the boyfriend has the moral high ground. It is a cold war in Flagstaff. We should also consider the impact on the Brown family brand. For years, they sold the idea that polygamy makes you a better person. It teaches you selflessness. But the ending of this show teaches us the exact opposite. Polygamy, as practiced by Cody, drained these women. Monogamy, or at least healthy partnership, is restoring them. Janelle's glow-up isn't just because of the gym, it's because she is no longer carrying the emotional weight of 3 other marriages. The visual transformation is key. Have you noticed how Janelle dresses lately? She is wearing leather jackets. She is wearing bold colors. She is experimenting with rock concert looks. This is the influence of a partner who tells her she is sexy. Cody treated her like a broodmare or a buddy. This man treats her like a woman. That psychological shift manifests physically. She is walking taller. Let's engage in a little what-if scenario. What if TLC decides to call the bluff? What if they show up to Janelle's house with cameras and just wait? In the old days, Janelle would have let them in. But this new Janelle? Is Janelle protected by the gym coach? I believe the door stays locked. I believe she called the police. The boundaries have hardened. This brings us to the invisible edit. We might see a season where Janelle is simply a voice on the phone to Christine, or we see her only in neutral locations. This makes her the cryptid of the show, the Loch Ness Monster. Every sighting will be analyzed. Did you see the man's arm in the reflection of her sunglasses? Did you hear a deep voice in the background of her Instagram story? The fans will become detectives. This actually keeps engagement high, even without him on screen. The mystery is often more compelling than the reveal. Finally, we have to address the hero complex. Cody views himself as the hero of his own story. He thinks he is a martyr crucified by disloyal wives. But the arrival of a real protector exposes Kody's martyrdom as narcissism. A real hero protects the woman, not his own image. This gym coach is stripping away the last of Kody's delusions. So, as we wait for the next leak, the next headline, or the next outburst from Kody, remember this. The most powerful move in a reality show is to turn off the camera. Janelle has found something real, and by keeping it in the dark, she is keeping it safe. And that, my friends, is the ultimate rebellion. We cannot fully understand Janelle's strategic silence without looking at the other half of her brain, Kody Brown. These two women are no longer just sister wives. They are soulmates. They are the Thelma and Louise of reality TV, driving away from the cliff instead of over it. And this brings us to the David Woolley factor. We know that Kody found her happily ever after with David. We know David is a man who isn't afraid of cameras, but he also isn't hungry for them. He did it for Kody. Now, connect the dots. Do you really think Janelle would get serious with a man that Kody and David hadn't vetted? Absolutely not. The leading theory is that this gym coach has already passed the ultimate test, the double date. Sources suggest that Janelle, her mystery man, Kody, and David have spent time together, and this, more than anything else, is what keeps Kody Brown awake at night. Think about the optics of that double date. You have Kody and Janelle, the two wives who carried the emotional and financial load of the family for decades, and sitting next to them are two men who are financially independent, physically healthy, and emotionally stable. It is a visual representation of the upgrade. Cody Brown isn't just being replaced by one man, he is being replaced by a fraternity of better men. If David Woolley, who the fans adore, gives this gym coach his stamp of approval, it is game over for Kody's narrative. David is the good guy benchmark. If David is high-fiving this new guy, if they are grilling steaks together while the women laugh in the background, it cements a new family unit that completely excludes Kody. It creates a wall of masculinity that Kody cannot penetrate. Kody is used to being the only rooster in the henhouse. Suddenly, he is looking over the fence at two eagles, and he realizes he is just a noisy chicken. There is a rumor floating around the inner circles that David and this new mystery man have actually bonded over their shared confusion regarding Kody. Imagine those conversations. Two normal, modern men sitting around a fire, drinking a beer, and asking, why did he treat them like that? Why didn't he go to the surgery? Why didn't he tuck the kids in? Their confusion validates the women's trauma. It confirms that Kody's behavior wasn't normal. It was negligent. This alliance also protects Janelle. With David in the picture, the production team can't bully the women as easily. They have a united front. If TLC tries to pressure Janelle to film her boyfriend, Kody can step in and say, back off. They have collective bargaining power now. The pink elephant in the room is that the spinoff everyone wants isn't sister wives, it's after wives. We want to see vacations, grandbabies, and healthy relationships. Kody and Robin are becoming the B-plot in their own show. Let's project this forward to the series finale. How does Sister Wives end? For 18 seasons, we thought the ending would be Kody sitting on a porch with 4 wives. Robin even cried about it. She wanted the rocking chairs. But the real ending is shaping up to be a cinematic masterpiece of contrast. Picture the final montage. On one side of the screen, we have the gym coach and Janelle. Maybe we still don't see his face. Maybe we just see his hand holding hers as they walk into a gym or an RV. It is quiet. It is peaceful. It is private. On the other side, we see Kody and David, loud and laughing, surrounded by the massive Brown family, the kids, the grandkids, everyone celebrating. And then we cut to the McMansion. We see Kody and Robin. They are surrounded by expensive art and boxes of inventory. They are alone. The silence in their house is heavy. It isn't the silence of peace. It is the silence of isolation. That is the tragedy Kody wrote for himself. He traded his family for control, and, in the end, he has control over nothing but an empty kingdom. The gym coach refusing the money is the catalyst for this ending. It forces the show to acknowledge that some things are priceless. It breaks the fourth wall by saying, you cannot buy this. In a world of Kardashians and influencers who sell every breath they take, Janelle's refusal to sell her love story is the most punk rock rebellious thing we have ever seen. This man, whoever he is, has given Janelle the greatest gift of all, the realization that she doesn't need to be a character to be loved. She just needs to be Janelle. So here's the verdict. Kody calls it betrayal. We call it growth. Kody calls it a scheme. We call it a boundary. Kody is panicked because his bank account is threatened. Janelle is peaceful because her heart is protected. The sister wives narrative has shifted permanently. The villains are trapped in their castle, and the heroes have escaped to the countryside. And even if we never see this mystery man's face, even if he never speaks a single word into a microphone, he has already become the most important cast member of Season 19. He is the ghost of Kody's failures. He is the presence that proves Kody was wrong about everything. Now, I want to hear from you one last time. This is the big question. Do you think Janelle should leave the show entirely to protect this relationship? Or should she stay on to collect the check and make Kody miserable? And what is your theory on the double date? Do you think David Woolley is the mastermind behind this new alliance? Drop your theories in the comments. I read every single one of them. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the truth behind the headlines, please hit that like button. It helps the algorithm find other truth seekers like us. And make sure you are subscribed to COCO Gossip. We are following every lead, every photo, and every whisper. When the first picture of this mystery man drops, you will see it here first. Thank you for watching. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and remember, the best revenge isn't angry texts or public fights. The best revenge is living a happy, quiet life that drives your ex absolutely insane. See you in the next video.